Hey guys, this is Jenna, and welcome to the Nurse Trials. So today I actually want to talk about anatomy and physiology and microbiology. As you can see from the title, it's two of the most, according to other people, it's two of the most hardest science classes once you get deeper into your prereqs. It's two of the science classes that people seem to have a lot of trouble with, and a lot of people have been asking me for tips and whatnot as to how to pass them, and so that's what we're going to talk about today. So I am doing the unspoken, the unheard of. I am taking both classes at the same time. Both of my professors looked at me like I had 3 foreheads when I told them that I was taking it at the same time, because it really is unheard of, because they suggest that they highly recommend that you do not take both classes at the same time. And currently I have a solid A in both classes. I have 98% in anatomy too as of right now, and I have a 95% in microbiology. So when I tell people that, it's just kind of, not only is it unheard of that I'm taking both classes, but it's unheard of to pass both with an A at the same time. So this is what I do to make sure that I pass my classes. So tip number 1, actually I have some right here, which is funny. Flashcards. I use flashcards for absolutely everything. Over the course of the semester, I'm pretty sure I ran through at least 800 to 1,000 flashcards. They're a good investment. And this was like a pack of like 100, probably more than that, and it was like 82 cents. They really help. It's really efficient to be able to look at like the terminology on the front and then be able to define what it is on the back. And sometimes you'll even get to the point where you could look at the word and you won't even have to flip it over, and you already know what it is, and down to like details and everything. And that's the point that you want to get to with flashcards. Also, an alternative method to using flashcards, which I actually just started using about like 2 weeks ago, was Quizlet. Quizlet allows you to basically create your own test. So you add your terminology, you add your details, whatever you want to add to it, and then it gives you options as to whether you want to learn. You could test yourself. You can just do straight up flashcards, mix matching. You could do stuff like that. And it really helps, to the point where you're just sitting there, you're swiping, and you're like, I already know all of this, because you do it so much. And then the repetition on top of that is so helpful. It is 110% efficient. I'm telling you guys, use flashcards. Another method that I have is reinforcement. A lot of people will go to class and just learn what they learn, go home, and then they're like, okay, well, the test isn't until a week from now or 2 weeks from now. I have time to just chill and relax or whatever. Don't do that. Okay, do not do that. It's detrimental. Don't do that, because that's exactly how you forget everything that you learned. So you want to go home and you want to reinforce absolutely everything that they taught you, down to a way that you can understand it and be able to interpret it. You always want to learn something so much to the point where you could teach it to somebody else. Literally. And I've gotten to that point with microbiology, because I just sit there for hours, weeks before the test even starts, and I will sit there and I will just try to understand the concepts, because microbiology is not a class where you could sit back and just learn terminology. Like, okay, this is a psychotroph, so I'm just going to learn what it is and what it does, and what temperature it can grow at, what species and genus it is, and just be able to pass my test. Yeah, no, that's not how that works. Fun fact. That's never how it's ever going to work. So you have to be able to understand how things work, and it's a lot of critical thinking. And one thing to know about microbiology is that a lot of professors will tell you this. However you do in microbiology, for the most part, will determine how you're going to do in the nursing program, because it's the same similar question styles on the test. It's a lot of critical thinking once it comes down. The reason why microbiology really, they say, determines how you'll do in the nursing program. Now, I wouldn't necessarily take that and run with it, because you can always do really bad in one class and really good in another. So I wouldn't use that to discourage absolutely anybody. I feel as if they kind of just say that just to scare you. even though I am doing good in the class, but I don't feel as if like, certain people grasp different concepts more than others. But the reason why they say that is because the question styling is very similar to like the nursing test, in the sense that it's very, very critical thinking. They'll give you a genus and a species. Matter of fact, no, they'll give you 5 diseases, but you personally have to know the genus and the species, and you have to know how they work, what they do, whether or not they're a capnophile or a halophile or a psychotroph or a psychophile or a mesophile or a thermophile or an extreme. It just goes all the way. It just goes forever. It's a lot. It's a lot of information, and you have to take that and be able to understand what type of antibiotics or what type of antifungal or antiprotozoan or just anti-cell wall or anti-DNA or protein synthesis, or whether or not it has folic acid. Like, you have to be able to do all of that and be able to see what type of drugs can affect it or whatever. So that's why they say that it's very similar to nursing in that sense. But in my opinion, I don't feel as if microbiology is hard. I feel as if you definitely need to take it after anatomy and biology, please. To set yourself up to where you have most of your sciences done already, and then you take your microbiology, because they do suggest that that's the way that you do it, in that order, specifically from easiest to hardest. It really helps. Most of the stuff that you see in microbiology, although it is a lot of new material and a lot of stuff that you've never seen before, a lot of it literally comes from anatomy and bio. And literally right now, my lab practical, lab practical for microbiology has like a lot of like A&P2 in it. A lot of it. To the point where I don't even feel like I really have to study that much for it, because I already know all of it, especially since I'm taking anatomy 2 at the same time that I'm taking microbiology. So it's kind of funny how both classes kind of just go hand in hand with what we're learning and the material that we're doing. So another thing I would say for microbiology tips and just advice towards the class is, do not panic. Stop listening to people. I listened to a whole bunch of people, and I looked online about like microbiology and whether or not it was hard. Just listen to the word microbiology. Like, it sounds terrifying. Like, I put it aside for a long time, and I'm really glad that I did, and I'm actually doing really well in the class. It's very interesting. I love the class and everything about it, and I'm gonna miss it when I finish the class in like 3.5 weeks. So just don't panic. Take this video with you. Just show it to all your friends. They might tell you I'm lying, but I'm not. So everybody's learning style is obviously going to be different. Everybody's not going to catch on to things as fast as they may hope or as fast as other people do, but do not sit back and let that discourage you. Do not listen to the fact that microbiology determines how well you'll do or how bad you'll do in nursing school. That's just what they say. I felt the need to include that because it really is a stigma, and it's something that I was told. Also, like I said, taking anatomy and micro at the same time is horrible according to my school. Like, they look at me like I'm dumb, and I did it anyway, and I'm about to pass. I'm trying to pass my anatomy class with 100% because I feel like I can, but like, it's doable. It's definitely doable. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do anything, because you can do anything, absolutely anything that you can set your mind to. And another thing that I'm not really sure how much people take advantage of YouTube, but I feel as if not enough people do that. And especially with science classes, with processes and like mitosis and meiosis and things that have like multiple steps and whatnot. Yeah, flashcards can only go so far, but when it comes down to micro and anatomy, where you have to actually understand concepts in their reactants and their products and the whole point of it, and like glycolysis will go to pyruvic oxidation, and then you go to the Krebs cycle, and then you go to oxidative phosphorylation, and then oxidative phosphorylation has both chemiosmosis and the electron transport chain. So you got to be able to know it like that. And the only reason why I know any of that is because of YouTube. I did not take advantage of that before, and it's such a huge platform, and it has so much resources on it that people don't take as much advantage of. Tutoring helps, yeah, tutoring works, but I just feel like a lot of people can learn better on their own than they can sing in the class. So it just gets to the point where my teacher just starts to talk, like speak gibberish, and then I'll just completely zone out, and I'll just make a note to make sure to learn it when I get home, and I'll learn it. And people on YouTube will teach you literally way better than your professor may teach you, or whatever the class is. And it's a lot easier for you to be able to teach yourself. So please take advantage of YouTube. It is a huge platform. It's so good to use, and that's the only reason why I know glycolysis and absolutely all the steps and what all the steps make and everything. And before, I had no idea what any of pyruvic oxidate. You told me that, and I would have thought that you were talking about space. I don't Mars. I don't know. I don't even know what that is, but now I do. So it really helps coming from me. So take advantage of that for sure. Hey guys, so this is going to be my last tip. Most of the time when you're failing a class, you're not getting the grades that you really want to. It won't always be because of you. It'll be because of your professor. So here is ratemyprofessor.com. I'm not too sure if a lot of people know about it, but this is me logging in. I made an account so I can rate other professors, and you can literally go all over. You can choose in between finding a professor or your school. I'm just going to type in Valencia College, East and West Campus, and these will be the different types of ratings. They also have it based off of departments and different subjects such as math and science, and then they have humanities. And then on the left, they'll have different ratings based off of lecture heavy or homework heavy. And then, you get your chance to be able to say whatever you want to say personally. So I'm going to type in one of my teachers that I used to have. And it's rated on a scale of 5. So he's a 4.4. And this is actually my anatomy teacher. So this is what everybody has had to say about him. And their experience with him. It also gives you the opportunity to say whether or not you had to use a textbook and whether or not you would take that person again. Also, you're allowed to say what your grade is. You always have the option to not say what your grade is, obviously, but you can save them and then you can rate them on your own, which is you have to make an account to be able to do that. So you will be able to just contribute to it and also be able to read other people's own. So thank you guys for watching this video, and please take advantage of everything that I have talked to you guys about, and take these tips with you, run with them. Most definitely don't be scared of micro, and also try and get together study groups and YouTube for sure. So yeah.